Welcome back to the channel, and let's talk about this knife. It's a long overdue video about CIVIVI Hypersonic. I really wanted to buy this knife. I was waiting it to be on sale. It's still not. But I had to buy it, and I'll tell you why I like this knife, why I like this design, and you probably already can see by this, is that the designer of this knife, it's a collaboration between CIVIVI and GTC, Gustavo Ticini. I think I'm telling his last name incorrectly. I apologize for that. But I like his designs. I cannot afford more expensive, or of course, I cannot afford his knives, which he makes his own knives, custom knives, and they cost, of course, good money. I was able to get those knives through the years of collecting, which are more affordable. This one, if you don't know, it's zero tolerance 0055. It's also, as you can tell, it's GTC design. Also collaboration, more interesting, more premium model, has a titanium handle, has S35 VN steel, powder steel, and it has his Gustavo's invention, this opening spring-loaded tab, which makes operating the knife is a really nice way. So amazing stuff. So I'll talk a little bit more about this. So idea is that, of course, those knife designers, some of them make their own knives, and they cost a lot. And they collaborate with more like a mass market oriented production companies like CIVIVI, and make a very interesting things. So, for example, those are few CIVIVI knives which I have in my collection again, and I use them. Those are all designer knives. So this one is from Elijah Hisham. He is no longer with us, but I got few of his knives in my collection. This one, and for example, this one, right? That's his mark. Again, for reasonable money, you get a very good quality knife, simply built, frames, right? Sorry, frame with those liners, backspacer, some kind of scales, very interesting either blade design or whatever it is. Here, for example, we have a front flipper, we have a simple design. I don't remember who is that designer, but again, good stuff you can get for again, as I said, for reasonable money, and use it and not being maybe afraid to lose it, because they are still in production. A lot of them are still in production for years. You can, I don't know, if you really like it, you can get another one and put it on a shelf or put it in a drawer for later if you totally cannot live without this specific design. So that's pretty much what I did with some of those knives. So for example, those ones, they are on the shelf because I cannot buy them anymore. I think they had this collaboration, they stopped the production. So if I want to keep memory about Elijah Hisham designs, I will not use those knives. I put them on a shelf and will show only to my guests what it is. A lot of course, CIVIVI knives, they can be purchased and so on. So another good thing about CIVIVI knives, and what does not apply to this knife, unfortunately, is that you can swap things between them. Sometimes you can swap even between the different models, but within the same model, you can buy them, for example, two different colors. And if you don't like that specific combination, you can swap the scales, blades, I don't know, spacers, and customize a knife a little bit for yourself, and so on. So very nice thing. That's what I did with this knife. Took a blade from one knife, took a scales from another knife of the same model, of course, and took the clip from a totally different knife model. I really like it this way. So that's another CIVIVI knife which I still use, and I like to use it light and good performing and so on. So back to this knife, different thing. Of course, for Gustavo, it has to be designed differently with all of those aggressive, modern-looking lines. And they decided to make it a full frame lock, so it's a full metal frame. On both sides has this, as we can see on the package, has black steel handle with burgundy G10 inlay. So that's the official name of the color, burgundy. Of course, there are a few other color combinations. Check them on CIVIVI website. I think that's where I bought it. I think directly from CIVIVI with a good price. So check them out. And also check the pricing. Sometimes they have discounts, promotions, and so on. I am not affiliated with them in any way. I paid my own money. That's true for all the knives which you see here. But again, as I say, very, very interesting, very solid, heavy, but still comfortable in a hand knife with interesting blade. It doesn't have, unfortunately, that composite grind as this one. This one has a different angle on two sides of the blade. Again, it looks cool. It looks futuristic, but it is actually quite interesting to use. So, for example, you can use the stick, for example, cutting here, and you can use it on some kind of cutting board if you want to do something with this portion of the blade. Of course, I don't use this knife a lot. It's more like a collector's piece for me. But this one, it doesn't have composite grind, but it still has a very slight curvature of the blade. Not as a very, very traditional Sheepfoot's blade, more like a modern Warncliffe or whatever they call it, but it's still a very, very usable blade. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll use the designer knife as my daily carry, you will enjoy using this blade. It's very good steel. I think it's Sandvik's 14C steel. Very, very nice edge. Almost mirror polish on both sides, very symmetrical, good tip, very sharp. I think, again, CIVIVI made a good job executing this knife. Here I cannot find any issues or functional issues or something like that. The only thing here is not good is this little exposed side of this G10 inlay over the like a cut-off relief for the framework frame lock to work. Other than that, there's absolutely no issues with this knife. Everything is functioning great, no problems at all. Amazing execution of the knife. On top of a very good and interesting design. So this is what I have to tell about the knives. And I will tell you one more thing, like why I like those stories, those ideas about collaboration. So first of all is that we get a good design in affordable price range. This was way over $100, but still under $200 when I bought it. Titanium, powder steel, designer knives, still affordable by, I don't know, knife enthusiast means. We're not talking thousands here, right? Second thing is that pretty much this person, Gustavo, I met him in person on a plane, just randomly in my life. I think he made me think about myself as a knife collector. So I'll tell you this story. I was traveling back from Brazil to Boston from a business trip, going through Atlanta, Delta flights. And the person sitting next to me, we just started chatting, introduced each other, and he said, I'm a knife maker, Gustavo himself. He showed me the pictures of his knife, his work. I was amazed. I was blown away. It's like take this design, already futuristic looking, and multiply it 100 times. Amazing colors, different inserts, different anodization on the different elements and so on. Amazing stuff. So, and we started talking, and I said, yeah, I like knives a lot. I always carry a knife when I go to the forest. I bought already a few knives when I was traveling to the different places. And he's asking, are you a knife collector? Maybe it would be interesting to buy my knives. I'm like, and I said, no, I'm not a knife collector. But I think that question triggered something inside me and I started to think like, yes, I have those knives. I kind of like them. I use them. I keep buying them. Am I a knife collector really? Do I need to understand more about knives and who makes them, designs them, and why? So I think that question from him triggered me, my own thinking. And now I can say, yes, I'm a knife collector. I understand the knife designs, history, purpose. I like to buy knives, both traditional, which represent the region, and I like to buy knives modern, which represent a specific idea of the design, or maybe sometimes there's a combination of both of those ideas. Sometimes modern knife designers, they take traditional historical designs and modernize them, reuse them in a very, very interesting and usable, actually, patterns of those knives. Not here. Here is completely modern, but I will show you. I will show you knives which I believe combine both designer's approach, traditional approach, modern execution, affordability as well on top of that, or collectability. Again, let's find this word and say, yeah, you can get those things and enjoy it, again, purely from design and functional point of view. So this is my personal touch on top of those knives. Of course, those ones are cheaper, discontinued. We just have them here for the looks. But this one is, again, very interesting entry into this world. CIVIVI did a couple years ago collaboration with multiple designers, and they still kept doing this. So if you're interested, you never knew about those things happening, here we go. That's what it is. Just, as I said, don't get it if you don't like big and heavy knife. If you think the big and heavy knife is not for you, not for your pocket, don't get it. Just get it for collection or something like that. Other than that, they all go back on my shelf to free up the space for more knives, more stories, more discussion if possible. And again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate the moment to share my personal story with you as well. And see you soon on this channel. Bye.